All right, welcome everyone. Good to see some new faces. So I think I shall go through the event and how these kind of run. So this is a monthly meetup that we run. It's basically an interactive coding meetup. So the layout of the event or typical structure of the night is we have basically three sections. We call code, meet and collaborate. So the code and collaborate can sort of blend and be sort of the one thing, but effectively the concept is we have a presentation and a bit of an explanation of some technology, programming language, hardware, something in the tech space to play with. We have that for until about 7:30. At 7:30, pizza will arrive. We'll have half an hour to meet, network, have some food, have some drinks, and then at 8 o'clock we'll do usually something hands-on based on the presentation. It's not unusual to get hands-on pretty much straight away, but that's sort of the structure. Basically, a couple of bits of presentation and fiddling with a bit of pizza in the middle. As always, from a support perspective, so Safi, which is a company that I direct, we obviously run the event and back the event from a financial perspective. The venue itself is put up by Dashworks Makespace, and CISP is the STEM Industry Schools Partnership Group, also help us pay for the food and the drinks. It also reminds me to mention, we'll put them up at the end on the slide, but the Wi-Fi details are on that whiteboard and on a bit of paper at the back. The toilets are behind the fake wall there, and the fire exit is the entry. It's the only way in and out of the building. So tonight we have the web dev with Hugo, and Netlify is the other technology we're using, and that's going to be presented by Charlene and Sora. So Sora works with me at Safi, and sorry Charlene, didn't have your company's logo, okay. But I'm sure that the guys will introduce themselves and who they are and what they're doing. They're doing a lot of cool stuff both at work and in their spare time, so yeah, been looking forward to this one. Next month, we're going to run coding comp. So going back, for those of you that don't know the history of the blast furnace, we used to actually run coding comps in parallel with the talks, and that was sort of the monthly thing. But it kind of overloaded the event a little bit, and people were a little bit split. So we started just really focusing on the presentations. And recently we ran another coding comp, and it was pretty good. So we're going to sort of shuffle them in between the presentations for the months. So for those that are interested, come along. It is really laid back. It's not serious by any means, and we use a platform called Coding Game. So if you want to have a look beforehand and have a fiddle with that, and you can get a feel for, I guess, the platform. But yeah, there's sort of 10-minute competitions. There's one of 24 different programming languages you can use, and we've got a few basic rules to score points and things. But yeah, we're running one of those next month. So if you're interested in that, you can also participate from home. So we put the link to the competition that we're currently doing on the Slack channel on Nui Slack. If you're not on Nui Slack, come and have a chat to me, and I'll make sure you're on there. That is the Slack channel for the tech community in Newcastle, and it's a really valuable resource for finding jobs, networking, knowing about the events that are going on in the tech space in Newcastle. You see some of us wearing the shirts. If you're interested, you can get one of the shirts off me for $10, and basically the money just goes back into paying for the pizza and the drinks.
Yeah, so there's plenty of themes to choose from. This is the Hugo site, and tonight we're actually going to be using one of them and build our website on top of them. Oh, and yeah, so we've been using Hugo for a while, and we're doing we've built some sites with Hugo ourselves, and I'll just show you some examples. So this is our podcast website. This is actually built in Hugo, and we didn't have to really think about designing this at all, and so we could just get straight into putting in the content. And when this actually took me like under 3 hours to actually build this site. And when I saw how fast I could actually create a site, I shifted my website into fully Hugo, and with that I could just like focus on writing the content without having to think about installing a database and stuff like that. Okay, so tonight we'll actually be creating our site with Hugo, and once we're happy with that, we're just going to move our code into GitHub, and then we'll use GitHub to talk to Netlify so that we can post our Hugo site on the internet. And the tutorial is actually up in this link, so if you can go into that link, we're actually going to be walking through that tutorial.
Yeah, so the link is tutorial-blog.netlify.app. So we kind of made this as a way where you guys also have a copy of it and follow through it with us. So as you can see, we split up the tutorial into different sections to make it easier to understand the steps that create the Hugo website. So the site itself, this one here, we created this using Hugo, and it is hosted on Netlify. So as we follow through the steps, by the end of it, we should all each have our own website using this same theme, and it should look kind of similar to this.
So we're just gonna start through with this one, and what we'll do is, like in between each section, we'll just like take a few minutes break or something just to see that everybody's kind of like on the same page, so that we can, all build this up together. All right, so so if you don't have a GitHub account, you need to sign up for one, and for a text editor, you could either get Atom. Atom's going to work with both Windows and Macs. If you've got Notepad++ already, you could just use that, but that's only a Windows one. In this tutorial, we will be using the VS Code one, but feel free to use any of the text editors. And if you don't have Git installed, you can just download it. And if you're on a Windows, just follow this link through here. And yeah, if you just click on that one, and it should download for Windows. For Mac users, just follow this link here. And like you can just, you will need to install like a package manager called Homebrew. And with that, we can just install Git into our systems. So I'm just gonna give you like a few minutes there, and we're just gonna, just for a setup time, and just so that we're up and running. All right.
So if you want, you can just type in the search here for PowerShell and right click and run as administrator. Okay, I'll put it side by side. Oh yeah, how do you do that?
Okay, it's not working.
It's not working, okay. So so it kind of looks small, but it's all right. So there are some commands here that we can use to download Scoop. So we're just going to copy this one here and paste it and run it. And it should, well, it doesn't work for me because I already have Scoop installed, but it should hopefully work for you guys. So if that works, then you should be able to confirm that you have Scoop installed successfully. So you can type in Scoop help,
just copy the entire,
and then it will print some commands that are associated with Scoop. So if you have this, then that means that Scoop has been installed successfully. So now that you have that installed, you can now install Hugo using Scoop. So you just have to copy this command, which is scoop install Hugo, run it,
Okay, so
And then that should install Hugo onto your computer.
it's like an extra step. Oh, with the S.
And then if you want to confirm that Hugo's installed, you can just type in Hugo version or Hugo help.
And we'll just go with yes.
And this will also print some commands that show that Hugo has been installed on your computer.
Scoop install Hugo.
Yeah, so we'll kind of let you guys do that. So,
Install and Hugo.
so we'll give you guys time to install that on your computer.
Scoop it.
Yeah, so now that we've got Hugo installed in our computers, what we can do is start creating the Hugo site. And what we'll do is you can create your Hugo site in any directory. We're just going to do it in our desktop. I'll do it here. And I'm just going to right click and create a new folder called Hugo. It's double. All right. Okay, and if you're on a Windows computer, we're just going to right click and we're going to do a git bash here now that you have git installed. Okay, so right click on the folder and do a git bash. If you're on a Mac, you could just open your terminal and what you'll do is, I'll open the command line here. So if you've created a Hugo folder as well and it's on your desktop, you could just do, cd desktop / Hugo. I think can I make this bigger? Oh, guess not getting any bigger. Oh, there we go. It's getting bigger now. Yeah, so you could do it like that or just use the git bash and be on that Hugo folder. Okay. And then once that's done, we can just run the Hugo command. So it's like Hugo new site, my website. Like you can call that whatever you want actually. Yeah, that's just the name of your Hugo site. You could call it my blog or blog, anything really. It doesn't have to be my website in specific. And once we do that, okay, we can see that my website folder has been created. And inside that, we've got like the whole Hugo architecture in there. It was Hugo new site and then my website, where that could be any name. Okay. So that's that. We have the Hugo site ready. Actually, we could have a look at it, but it's going to be empty. So what we'll do now is just install a theme, and we've picked the same theme that we're using for this tutorial. So we'll just move on to the next step, and that will be adding a Hugo theme. So we're just going to copy the commands over here, and what this is doing is changing our terminal to go into the My Website folder, and then we're going to initialize a Git repository, and then we're going to install this Hugo theme as a submodule from Git. Okay, so if I just copy that and paste it into our bash terminal, and I'll press enter. Yep. And if we navigate to the themes folder and open the mini folder, that's actually the theme that we've installed. So it has the same architecture to our Hugo site because the theme is a Hugo site itself. It's a Hugo template. Actually, let me close these. Okay, cool. And after you do that, we found that the theme has some configurations to do on top of that. So we're just going to download this Netlify .toml file and just put it at the root directory of our Hugo site. So under my website, I'm just going to transfer the Netlify .toml to our root folder. So Netlify, and I'll put it at the root Hugo site that we've built. Okay. And to use our theme, so we've just installed the theme. So what we'll do is navigate into the themes folder, go into that mini folder, and then we're going to go into the example site. So this is actually the demo site's contents that we're actually copying into our current Hugo site. So I'm gonna just copy the content, layouts, static folder, as well as the config.yaml file. So I will just copy that into our root site. So if I go back to my website, I'll just paste it in there, and that's gonna overwrite any existing folders. And now what we can do is, once we've copied across the themes folders, we can just run Hugo serve in our terminal, press enter, and we can copy this link over here, localhost 1313 there. Oh, I think I stopped it. Oh, it's not there. Yeah, okay, so there's a little bit of configurations to do still. So what we'll do, is this in the next one, or?
No, this is still in the same one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Oops.
so go to, no, next.
Okay,
This is in number 4.
Ah,
I
yeah,
think you're
yeah,
up to
yeah.
4. And it should be like step 7 or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
like, that one.
Yeah, so we've got to do some adjustments. Now this theme, so in your favorite editor that you have on your computers, we can just open this on our editor. I'm gonna open it on code, so open with code. And we should see our Hugo site here. We've gotta change some settings here. So if you go to the config YAML file, this is the themes config. And if you look here, the themes, can I make this bigger? Yep. So the themes has the mini folder, and where the theme name here is actually wrong. So we should fix it up to be mini instead. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. And we're gonna delete these 2 lines over here because it's for the example site only. We don't really need it. Save that. I think that should be okay. Okay, yeah. That's what I needed to do. And if I refresh this, we have the Hugo theme installed actually, and this is all the example content that comes with the Hugo theme. All right. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so we can move on to the next part then. So what we've just done is we've pretty much got a theme that's running locally. So as you can see, this isn't our own content. This is just like some dummy text or some placeholder articles, just for the sake of having a demonstration or something that will work. So what we want to do is we actually want to start writing our own content or our own pages for the website. So if we went into our code, how do you zoom out? Wow. Okay, I'm just going to leave it. So if we were to open up the code into the text editor, any text editor that you're using, you can actually navigate on the side the different folders that are inside your website. So you can expand the content folder and the posts folder, and here you can see that there's a whole bunch of Markdown files with the extension MD, so .md, so these are Markdown files. So you can see that these correspond to the pages that are on the website at the moment. So you'll have Markdown syntax guide, rich content, placeholder text, and all of these are Markdown files. So each of these, if you open it, you'll see that there is actually content on the website, and that content is from these files here. So what we can do is we can create our own page. So we can do that manually. So we can either right-click, create a new file in this folder, or we can use a command to do that. So if I went back into our git bash terminal, what's the command? So the command is Hugo new, and then this is the path to the, how do you paste it? Paste. Sorry. So this is the path to the, where we're going to create the new page. So Hugo new post slash, and then you can type in any name that you like, but we're just going to go my-first-article.md. So make sure that you create a Markdown file with a .md extension. Oh, you didn't do that? Actually, you can rename it. .md, yeah. All right. So now you can see that it's been added. And when you create this using the command, you'll see that when you open the file, it's already got some metadata generated. So you've already got the title, the date has already been timestamped, and then you've got something called draft equals true. So if you were to write something in here like hello world, I guess, and if you save it and Hugo serve, every time you want to see the website, you've got to make sure that Hugo serve is running. Okay, that didn't work, that's annoying. Oh, okay, I know why. So your website isn't going to show because you've got draft equals true, right? So basically what that means is you can create the content for your page, for your web page, and if you're still working on it, you can put draft equals true, and that way you can keep working on it and no one's going to actually see the web page because it's still a draft. So as soon as you're happy with the content, you can change that to false. And then now it's showing. So now you can see my first article and then hello world. And if you click on it, it will automatically take you to its own page. Right. So each of the pages are written in a language called Markdown, and Markdown isn't like a complicated programming language or anything. It's more like you can format the text to look a certain way. So for like, if I just did a basic example, a hashtag would be like a heading, for example. So you could put a hashtag in front of a word and it would become a heading, and then you can write some more text at the bottom. And then as you can see, heading has become a heading and the text is just a regular text. So you can format your text to look a certain way. So what we've done is we've actually linked, in the tutorial site itself, we have linked, at the very bottom, there is a Markdown syntax guide that you can kind of refer to. But, you know, just to make it quick, we have some dummy a dummy article about potatoes that you can copy. And you can just copy it straight into the file. And then you'll see that you have your new article here about potatoes. Yeah. So the image isn't going to work for you guys yet because you're going to actually need to supply your own image. So how that works is the place where you would store images is you go into the static folder and you would make an images folder in here called images. And you'll want to put in any image you want. So I have some random pictures here. Right? And you'll want to put your picture in this images folder. And you also want to make sure that it matches. So if this here is called potatoes.png, then you want to make sure that this is also called potatoes.png, and it's not apparently. So I will rename that potatoes. And that image didn't work. Potatoes.
You know, you can click the little P, the little icon at the top right there with the little P on it. That'll actually show you what Markdown looks like.
Oh.
And then just next to that
This.
the P on it.
The P on it. This one?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Sort of demo that doesn't do the images, but it gives you shows you the headings and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay, cool. So if you guys want to see, if you're using VS Code, you can actually see a preview of the Markdown if you click on this button here. Okay, so now the images work.
It's a logical breakpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, this sounds good. Okay, so for those of you guys who are on the stream, we're just kind of going through how you can build a website using Hugo. So we haven't gotten up to the hosting part yet. We're just kind of getting the website set up. So what we've done is we have a tutorial that we've created using Hugo, and we're kind of just following it. So what we've done is we've kind of downloaded all the things that we've needed. So we've got GitHub that you have to sign up for, and then it would be good if you guys had a text editor. And you also need to download Git as well. So there's Windows and Mac. So what we've done is we've installed Hugo on our machine. I'll close this to make it easier. So to install it on Windows, you first have to install a package manager. So Scoop is what we were using, and there's just a couple of commands here that you can use to download Scoop. Whoops. And that doesn't work for me because I've already got it installed. And if that doesn't work, you can use this command because probably your script isn't allowed to be executed for some sort of permission reasons, but there are also other ways that you can download a package manager. Even if you choose not to use Scoop, you can use something like Chocolatey as well. So once that's fine, if you were to install it using Scoop, you could go Scoop install Hugo, and that should install Hugo on your computer. So you're just installing Hugo with a couple of commands. All right. So what we did was we kind of just we created a Hugo project. So that's what we've kind of done over here. So this is the project. So there's a command here that you can just use that will create all the architecture of the Hugo site, and that does it automatically. And what we did was we have a mini theme that we're using. So there's just a series of GIFs that kind of show you how to configure the theme. So once that's done, the way you would test it is you would go into git bash and you could go Hugo serve, and if you were to run it on localhost, you can see it live running. And basically what we did is we just created our own article here using the steps from this page. Yeah. So basically each file, so if you were to go into the content posts folder, each file actually represents a page in on your website. So Markdown syntax guide would be markdown-syntax.md, for example. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, so that's pretty much all that we're up to now, is kind of just waiting to put this up on GitHub and then host it on Netlify.
You can create a new repository. And I'll just call it Hugo blog. You can call it whatever you like. Makes sense to be a blog for this one. Hugo blog. And you can make it public or private. We'll just do public for this one. Create repository. All right, so we've done that. And if I go back to our my website folder, we're just going to open up another terminal, git bash here. And I'll just copy these lines here. So it's just git add dot. That's gonna add all your Hugo files, and then we're gonna commit it. So we're just saying that these files are going to be sent through to GitHub. Okay, so I'll just copy that. Oops. Paste. And yeah, just open a new terminal in that one. And then put in the git add dot and git commit. And then once that's done, we can go back to our GitHub repository we just created. And we're going to copy these 3 lines over here. So I'll just zoom in. So the second set of commands, we're just going to copy that through back onto our terminal. Okay, so I'm just going to paste that. Right, so just those 3 commands. And once that's done, I'll just refresh this page now, this GitHub repository, and we should see all our Hugo content over here. So that's it. We've just put our whole Hugo code there now, and then the next step is actually deploying it onto Netlify.
Okay, so even if some of you guys are still having issues with GitHub, we can go around and we will continue helping you guys later on. But we can move on to the Netlify part so that we can host your codes or host the actual website onto the internet. So Netlify is the platform that we're going to be using. And basically, this automatically is just going to host your website. So all we need to do is make an account. So you can follow the link here and it will take you to netlify.com and you can sign up. Oh, so I'm already signed in. So this is the page that you'll be taken to. So what we would suggest is to log in or to sign up using GitHub. And then you can use your GitHub credentials to log in. If you already have a Netlify account, there's a button that you can click on called New Site from Git, which is this one. And basically, that's going to give you some steps that you can go through that will help you host your site. So when you click on that, you'll be presented with this, and then you can click on GitHub. So for me, because I already have an account and everything's already kind of synced together, but in reality, you will have to authorize Netlify and log in and have to go through that process. So what you have to do is you will have to, oh, do I have the repository? Okay, so this is the repository here that I want to host. So it's here already. If it's not in this list, you can actually select it from this list. So this is the list that's on the site here. Whoa. So that's just saying that you've given Netlify permission to access these repositories to host. So you can go ahead and select your site, your repository. Okay. So once you have it on the list, you can click Hugo's site. Well, whichever one that you've chosen. And basically all of these will be pre-filled in. So the build command is Hugo, the published directory is public, and all you have to do is press deploy site. So that just sets it up. Yeah, and this part of the page here just tells you if it's been successful or if the deploy failed. But basically what it does is it gives you a random URL, but we don't want something random, so we can just change that in domain management. So here, if you choose to have a free domain name, you'll always have .netlify.app at the end. But you can change what you actually call it. So you could be like my website, I guess. Save. This already taken. Okay. So, but here you can also customize, like if you wanted to buy your own domain name where you don't need the .netlify.app, like if you want a .com or something, then you will have to buy one, and then you can link it up to this. But for now, because we're going to just set up a free one, you'll always have .netlify.app. So if we now visit this, you can see that your website is live at my website -hugo.netlify.app.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, eh? Like, it's pretty,
Oh yeah, it's pretty fast.
pretty straightforward, like.
Oh, and the good thing is every time you want to make changes to your website, you just have to git commit and then push to GitHub, and then Netlify automatically detects it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it automatically updates your live website.
Just all you gotta do is push.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.